Hey friend, welcome to Pursuing Goals God's Way. Have you thought about finally starting that business now that your kids are older? Do you ever stay awake wondering how to mesh your passions into purposeful work? Do you have big, ambitious goals but feel overwhelmed or even unqualified to pursue them? Hey, I'm Gabe. Not too long ago, I longed for the confidence to start an online business. I just wanted to make a difference outside my home bubble using my gifts. But I kept telling myself that I wasn't good enough. I didn't know enough, and I didn't have enough time. Until I realized something huge. My kids need me to be their example, and they need to see me win. And yours do too. In this podcast, you will learn how to clarify your goals, plan with purpose, and ditch your distractions. If you're ready to make an impact and an income, all for the glory of God, then you're in the right place. As an avid runner, I believe life is one massive marathon. It's up to you to run your own race and to finish it well. So lace up those running shoes, pop in your earbuds, and let's do this thing. Hey friend, welcome back to another episode of Pursuing Goals God's Way. I am so glad that you are here with me today because we're going to have some fun and talk a little bit about taking your business or your personal life off social media. We're going to also talk a little bit about what I miss and what I don't miss about being off and some growth updates for you because I had promised that I would give you these updates, and I want to encourage you that you do not have to be all the places in order to grow. But first, I want to extend an invitation to you to the Goals with Soul Summit. It's a free 4-day conference happening from May 1st through the 4th for high-achieving women like you who are ready to go from stressed and overwhelmed to focused and making progress toward your goals. In the 4 days, you'll learn bite-sized habits and mindset shifts to help you take courageous action to achieve your goals in a totally doable, sustainable way, no matter how busy you are or how little time you have for yourself. Here's how you know the summit is for you. Maybe you have a tugging on your heart for something more, but you don't know where to start. You have a deep desire for change, but you feel selfish or guilty investing your time and finances into personal growth. Maybe you wrestle with perfectionism. You feel like you have to do everything perfectly or not at all, and this keeps you stuck. You have big goals or dreams of what you'd like your life to look like, but sometimes you wonder if you're worthy of them, or maybe you worry that you're just not enough. You might fear what you'll discover when you actually slow down long enough to really get to know yourself. Will you recognize her? Will you like her? Does this sound like you, friend? It's time to reflect on, set, and implement your goals via small, sustainable habits at the Goals with Soul Summit. You will not be disappointed. Head to misskatehouse.com/goals with soul summit -Gabe and get registered. Here it is spelled out. MSKATE house.com/goals with soul summit -Gabe. I'll leave a link in the show notes for you, so all you have to do is click. One other great thing about the summit on May 1st through 4th is that it is on a private podcast feed, which means you can take it with you wherever you go, on your drive, on your workout, in the kitchen, wherever you are. And so you don't have to feel like you have to sit down, find a quiet place, grab your computer, watch it. It is going to be with you wherever you go. So take advantage of that. All right, I'm looking forward to seeing you there. But for now, I want to help you find more time. And maybe that more time will help you find time to join us at the summit. So get registered now. And now we'll talk about how to get that time. So, what if I told you that you could get 3 to 5 hours a week back in your week with one simple change? We've been talking about auditing your time to find more of it in the past couple of weeks. So if you haven't listened, go back to episode 185, How to Audit Your Time and Find More of It, to take a listen and take the challenge that I give you at the end. This is a great way to find extra pockets of time to work with. But you don't even need to take a time audit to instantly gain back a few hours in your week. And you may even get 1 to 3 hours back every day. That's what we're talking about today. And in order to instantly gain an hour or 2 or 3 back every day, I challenge you to turn off the social media. Drastic, I know. But I have some pretty crazy stats for you about the time spent on social. So I did a little research and I did it age ranges. So here's what I found. 16 to 24-year-olds. So our kids in some instances, right? Or even at least our oldest. 5 hours and 49 minutes a day spent on social. Crazy, right? And I'm like, they're in school. How do they do that? But I mean, I know how because they have them out in school. But still, That's crazy. How about 25 to 34-year-olds? This could be some of you. 5 hours and 31 minutes. Yeah, seriously. How about most of us? So I would say most of my listeners probably fall in the 35 to 44-year-old range. That is 4 hours and 49 minutes. We spend way too much time on social media still. It's only an hour less than some of our older kids. Wow. And then even the 45 to 54-year-olds. So you know if I'm talking to you, you spend 3 hours and 57 minutes a day. So less than anyone else, more than we probably should. Let's just be generous and say 3 hours a day. I mean, that's still a lot of time, but it seems like less than any of these stats. So if you if you say, I don't spend 3 hours a day, first, I want you to take the time on it that we talk about in episode 185 and see how much time you're actually spending. Because you may not even know how much time you are doing scrolling and commenting and liking, because it can really seep our time really fast. Like it just drains it. But if you do spend less than 3 hours a day, I will give you a virtual high five and say congratulations, because you are essentially an anomaly. You are not the average person. And that is really, really great. So I commend you for that. I don't spend 3 hours a day because I'm not even on it. But even before, I don't know if I did. I don't know if it was that much of a time suck for me, but I can see how it really can become one. But anyway, let's just take 3 hours a day. That is 21 hours a week. That's almost an entire day. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to think about. So let's take it a little bit further. 3 hours a day is 84 hours a month. That's more than 3 days out of the month. And then let's go one more step. 3 hours a day is 1,008 hours in a year. Do you want to know how many days that is? I don't know if I really want to tell you, but I'm going to. It's 42 days. 42 whole days spent on social media in 1 year. I know, I'm sick to my stomach too. I could have written an entire book in that amount of time, in 42 days. What could you have done? I mean, seriously, think about it. We say we don't have the time or things get in our way as we work on our business, but could it be that it's not really about time, but it's more about priorities? It's more about where we're spending our time. Is it lining up with our priorities? Is it lining up with our values? Is it lining up with what we want to get done? If not, we need to take a good hard look at that and ask ourselves why. Why is it not lining up? So, you know what I did is I decided not to cave to the social media scroll any longer this year. So, here's what I did. I decided not to cave to social media scroll any longer this year. I gave it up cold turkey. January 1st, it was sayonara social media, bye-bye. And it's been good. Like I thought I would have some FOMO, and I did in the beginning, but now I don't even think about it. It's not a habit anymore. And I did promise updates along the way. So here you go. I've been off social media for about 3.5 months. And again, like I said, I don't miss it for the most part. Like there are some things that I do miss, and we'll talk about those. But some of the biggest wins that I've seen is I've had less comparison, because I'm not seeing others posting about all the great things that are happening in their lives. I'm not seeing other entrepreneurs on there posting all the great things going on in their business, and me comparing like, how come I'm not as far along as they are, or whatever, or comparing how come I'm not as good of a mom as she is, those kinds of things. It's just not happening as much anymore. Yes, there's still comparison, but it's so different than seeing it all the time on social. Also, I feel like there's less stress and negative in my life, because I'm just not seeing all of the negative things. I feel like people will post on social way more easily than saying something to someone's face. And so there is a lot of like stress and negative, and I'm glad I don't see that anymore. But I do miss a few things. So let's talk about those. My hubby will tell me something. He'll say, "Oh, did you hear so and so did this?" And I'll be like, no, I didn't hear that. Where did you hear it? And he said, oh, I saw it on Facebook. Well, duh, I'm not on Facebook, so I wouldn't know unless somebody texted me. So, things that maybe I should know, or people think I should know that I don't, because I just am not there and connecting anymore. So I really like seeing everyone's adventures and pictures and all the things and being updated. But I would say If I need to know something, he'll tell me. So I miss seeing it, but at the same time, I don't know if I miss it that much. I also kind of miss the connection that I felt when I was in social, because I could connect with people who are not just in my phone, like people that I wouldn't normally text or hang out with, and I could connect in different ways. So I do miss that a little bit. And then I also can miss connecting with other entrepreneurs because it was quite easy to do on social in different Facebook groups or all those types of places, or being able to message them on Facebook or Instagram or all the things. Later on, I'll tell you that I don't really miss that much because I feel like I still get to connect with them just in different ways. So those are the three main things that I do somewhat miss. But what I don't miss, I think the list is a lot longer for things I don't miss. Seeing ads all the time because I feel like they're so ad heavy now that you can't scroll a page without seeing an ad. Also, seeing content that's just not relevant, content that I don't really care to see. I feel like the algorithm does not do a good job of showing the things that I want because I really just want to see close friends and family and what they're up to. And yeah, so I just felt like I don't really miss seeing so many things that I don't care about. I don't see I don't miss seeing too many negative or arguments. I feel like social media arguments just don't go over well and nothing really gets accomplished there. So I really hated seeing those things. And I felt like, especially in the midst of 2020 and the last couple of years, there's just been so much. So I don't miss that at all. I don't miss feeling like I have to scroll or that I'll miss out. Like FOMO really is a real thing, a fear of missing out. But I don't really feel that anymore. I don't, and I don't miss it. I don't miss have feeling like I have to see everything and know everything and be in there and be a part of it all. I also don't miss feeling like I have to post or my business won't grow. I feel like that's a huge lie that experts tell us, is that you need to be in there posting every day for your business. But I don't miss that. I don't miss having to create a content calendar or being present every day and putting time into it and checking comments and all the things. I feel like I've gained a lot of time back from not doing that. So also from the things I miss list, I actually don't miss a lot of these things like that I was talking about before, um, because I don't really mind not knowing everything going on. And if it's important, someone will tell me. And then I'll know. So I no longer will be out of the know, right? So, and also, like I said before, I miss connecting with other entrepreneurs on social, but I still connect with them quite easily. And I actually really like that the only option is really via email rather than having to be in Facebook messages and Instagram messages and LinkedIn and all of the places. I just have one specific place to be able to connect with them. And so that's something that I've found is really, really great. And so the things that I miss, I don't really quite miss because I feel like I still get it, if that makes sense. And it feels so good to streamline that. So, okay, we talked about what I miss and what I don't miss, and what I miss, I don't really miss. But let's talk a little bit about how my business is growing without it, because I know you're probably curious about that. Like, Gabe, I kind of feel the urge to get off social media, but I have an online business and I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't know if I could grow it without being on there. Well, here's what I did. I added an additional 100 plus leads to my email list just in the last couple of months, so I can add value to their lives because I hang out in my email. I will send tips and tricks, and I talk a little bit about the different podcast episodes coming out. And I really nurture that list. But I was able to add at least 100 new leads to that list I was off of social media. I did this through a giveaway collaboration with another entrepreneurial friend. And so that's a way that you can get in front of people, in front of your target audience without social media, is collaborations of sorts. So whether it's a giveaway or maybe a bundle or a summit, like the summit coming up, or podcast swapping and guesting on other people's platforms, things like that. And it's super fun because you get to really connect with that other entrepreneur and you get to add value to their audience. So my business is still growing. I'm still having new audience come in. My podcast is growing. So just this past week, my podcast numbers were up 389% from the same month last week. So like April, the first week in April to the first week in March. That's a lot. And I looked at it and I went, what happened? It was like it exploded. So I'm going, was it a specific episode that went viral or what was it? But it just seems like is on this continual steady growth. I wasn't promoting anything special. I wasn't collaborating with anyone. It was really just organic growth. And that is a huge win. So, by the way, if you are loving the podcast, would you consider sharing it with a friend? That's one really great way to grow the podcast. And I'd be so grateful because my mission is to help more and more women mesh their passion and purpose into impact and income, all for the glory of God. I want to help with the simple strategies that don't cause hustle and overwhelm so that you don't have to sacrifice family time or your well being to have an impact. So, if you know anyone who would love the podcast, please just hit that share button and share it with them and help us grow this thing even more. But that is one really, I would say, the biggest win because that's the one struggle I've been having in the past year was how do I grow my podcast? And I didn't know what it would do coming off social media. But again, like I said, it might not have anything to do with coming off. Maybe it was just my time of growth, but it's happening. And it's happening without me posting every week about the new episode. So, those are just a couple of ways it's been growing. I'm also really gaining traction thinking outside of the box of ways to connect or collaborate with other business owners to help each other out. So, many think that social media is the only way to grow a business, but I am telling you, it is a great way maybe to engage current clients or audience, but it's not the way to really grow your income. It's fleeting, it takes a lot of work and maintenance, and it just takes too much time. And just a plug, if you're like, Gabe, but I want to connect with you, but how? Here are a few simple ways to do that. First, you could join my weekly newsletter if you're not on it already. Like I said, I share tips to keep things simple as you work to start or grow your online business or ministry or go after that goal on your heart. I share some updates about my life periodically and also about fun opportunities that come up, such as the goals with Soul Summit or the fun giveaway we just did. Second, you can hop into the Simplicity and Motherhood Facebook community because I'm still in there connecting with members. We have a great time in there. We share funny memes. It's like the one place that I still get to see those. We ask good questions. I ask for advice about my teenager all the time. And we just are women on a mission to lead our families well. I link the group so I go straight there and bypass everything else. So if you too are off social, totally fine to skip this option or do what I do and just bypass all the other things to hop into the community. We kept the community here on Facebook because we've already grown it quite a bit. I lead it with a few other people, so we just thought it was easier than moving it completely off. So I am in there in that capacity. The third way to connect with me is I'll leave a link in the show notes to both of those things above if you're interested, but you can also just email me straight up at info@gabecoxcoaching.com. I really love hearing from you. And if you have a prayer request, send it to me. I really love being able to pray for you. I keep a journal of prayer requests from online connections, and it's something I just really feel led to do. So those are a few ways to connect with me, but let's talk about this. Do you want to gain back 3 to 5 hours a week? Or maybe 3 hours a day if you're one of those crazy stats that we talked about in the beginning of this episode. Then do yourself a favor and turn off social media. Try it for a week and see how it goes. Then maybe try it for a month. If it's still going well, then try for an extended period of time. Your online business will thank you. Your family will thank you. Your white space will thank you. Your personal health will thank you. There's nothing that important that you'll miss out on. I really, really promise you that. If your friend is having her baby, I'm guessing you'll know. If your nephew just won the state basketball tournament, I bet you'll find out. If the world is ending tomorrow, I promise you, you'll know. Just turn off that phone screen, enjoy the little things. And I really want to encourage that. Like I said, I don't know how long I'm going to stay off right now. I don't know if I plan on going back ever just because I don't need to. I don't feel the need for it. Like I do miss a few things, but like I said, I don't really miss the things I miss. I don't really miss technically. And the benefits I'm gaining are far surpassing the things that I miss. So in the next couple of months, I'm going to be bringing on some guests who have turned off the social media for their business to chat with them about the effects they've seen with it and to show you that there is another way if you want it. Again, if you like social media, stay there. That's fine, but maybe just limit your time. Set a timer or whatever, a time limit for yourself. So I want you to look forward to those interviews that we will have coming up. But until next time, don't forget to sign up for the Goals with Soul Summit at misskatehouse.com/Goals with Soul Summit-Gabe. I'll leave a link in the show notes for you, so all you have to do is click. But I'm excited to see where you go, and in all things I pray, you just run your race. Thank you so much for joining me today. I had a great time, and I hope you did too. Before we go, though, make sure you follow the podcast on your favorite listening platform if you haven't already. If you resonate with this episode, please consider leaving a review on iTunes or share it with a friend, as this helps grow the podcast. Also, if you're not a part of Simplicity and Motherhood, consider joining us. It's a free online community built to provide support and encouragement so you can create balance and live intentionally as you go after your biggest goals, God's way. Head on over to redhotmindset.com for more resources and to find the link to join the community. In all things I pray, you just run your race. I believe in you.